Hello guys, welcome to this new class. Today we are going to learn about the future simple tense using these two elements that are will and going to. So let's go. Okay, first we're going to start with the auxiliary will. When we use the auxiliary will to speak in future simple tense, we call this the will tense because we make the future simple with the modal auxiliary will. Okay guys, now let's look how do we use the auxiliary will to form the affirmative, negative, and interrogative forms for this tense. For the affirmative form is the subject, the auxiliary will, plus the main verb and the complement. So we have, for example, Sharon will watch the movie. We have each of the elements that we have in the structure. The subject Sharon, the auxiliary will, the main verb that is watch, and the complement that is the movie. Now for the negative form, we have subject, then will not. This is the negative particle that tells us that is a negative sentence, plus the main verb, and finally the complement. Here we have a sentence that is Emily will not bring the snacks. Okay? So the particle, the negative particle not, tells us that this is a negative sentence. And finally, for the interrogative form, we have first of all the auxiliary will, then the subject, then the main verb in infinitive form, and the complement, and of course the question mark. If this is a question, it always has to be there. So we have this sentence, for example, will Jenny arrive tomorrow? Look at this. We just have to change the place of the auxiliary and the subject, and then we have an interrogative sentence. Okay, now we have the contractions. We can contract the affirmative and negative sentences this way. Okay, maybe you are going to find these contractions when you are speaking with other person because it is easier or more casual for using. Now for example, if we take I will, we can contract it like I'll. We can contract you will like you'll. He will, he'll. She will, she'll. It will, it'll. We will, will. You will, you'll. And they will, they'll. This is for the affirmative forms of the sentences. Now, for the negative form, we just have to contract the auxiliary will and the negative particle not to want, and the subject is reading the same way. For example, I will not becomes I won't. You will not you won't. He will not, he won't. She will not, she won't. It will not, it won't. We will not, we won't. You will not, you won't. And they will not, they won't. Now, how do we use the future simple tense? When do we use it? We use it with no plan, when the decision is made at the time of speaking. For example, hold on, I'll get a pen. We made the decision at that moment, not before. It was not planned. The second use that we give to will is the prediction. It's for predicting things. We are saying what we think will happen. For example, it will rain tomorrow. We are predicting that it's going to rain tomorrow. Okay, this is the second element that we use for speaking in future simple tense. It's called going to. Now, going to is not a tense. It is a special structure that we use to talk about future. Now here we have the structures, the affirmative, negative, and interrogative for using going to. First, in the affirmative form, subject, always the verb to be according to the subject, going to, and the main verb in infinitive form. And finally, the complement. For example, Sharon is going to buy the motorcycle. As we can see, the verb to be is conjugated with the subject, that is Sharon, that is she. So Sharon is. Now, for the negative form, we have subject plus the verb to be plus the negative particle not plus going to, the main verb in infinitive form, and the complement. The only difference between the affirmative and the negative form is the use of the negative particle not. So we have this example. I am not going to bring the snacks. That's easy. Okay, very good. Let's continue. Now, for the interrogative form, we are going to switch the place of the subject and the verb to be. First is the verb to be, then the subject, then going to, the main verb in infinitive form, the complement, and finally the question mark. Here we have, is Jenny going to paint the house? Okay, the difference between the affirmative and negative form is that we have to change the place of the subject and the verb to be, and obviously the use of the question mark. Okay, now, how do we use the future simple tense? We use it for intention. We use going to when we have the intention to do something before we speak. When we plan that. For example, we're not going to paint our bedroom tomorrow. We are planning, or we are saying that we don't have the intention for painting our bedroom tomorrow. Now we use going to also for prediction. We use going to make a prediction about the future, but our prediction is based on present evidence. Okay, this is very important. For example, the sky is very black. It's going to snow. What is the evidence? This one, that the sky is very black. That's the reason why we say that it's going to snow. Okay, thank you very much, guys. I hope you like this class, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.